All right, so this is going to be an interview with Seif, the great winner of TTAC 6. Now, I sent him some interview questions, and the background is I brought up a video. I googled Cypher on YouTube or searched it, and it said Final Fantasy VIII lore, Cypher Alpha sees origins. So I thought this would be a good background video to Seif. So far, we haven't seen many shots of Cypher, but I think this is just the channel's intro video. I don't know. I haven't watched it. If it looks interesting, go check it out. It's by Final Fantasy Union. That said, let's get to the interview. I sent him the same questions I sent everyone else, and he gave quite succinct answers. So I decided to pad the interview with a story he told me privately that I am now, not that I think there's anything private to this, but that I am now sharing more broadly because I thought it was a fun story. So, bonus question to pad time, which we'll start with: how did he coup his way into clan leadership? With Lionheart Clan, I just did all of the recruiting work independently with no permission from the leader, and eventually he was like, oh shit, this guy does all the work to be the co-leader. And then I decided that if I'm doing all the work, I want to be the co-leader. And then I decided that doing all the work and not being the leader sucks. So I took everyone and made my own clan. I was also a scheming ass 14-year-old. It's a kind of a different world now that most of us are beyond puberty. So this is the tale of Seif becoming the clan leader, eventually becoming the clan leader of KH, which is one of the kind of famous great clans of the early days. It is before my time. Is this like the PC version or like the new version? All the characters look wrong. These graphics look deeply wrong to me. The text boxes too. It must be one of the new remastered versions. God, I never like the remasters. Everyone just looks so wrong to me. The cutscene looks better. Guess they kept that more consistent. Yeah, don't like these remasters. All right, back to the interview. Here's the actual questions. And we always got to appreciate a scheming ass 14-year-old. How would you describe your triple triad play or style? Instinct. Who is your most interesting opponent? Was up. Who is your toughest opponent? Sujiro. What formation or move type do you like more than other players do? This can be for either open or closed, or answer for both. He did not answer this question. What formation or move type do you like less than other players do? I don't know. Like I said, he gave, let's go with laconic answers. Succinct and, not extensive. I find Seif very interesting and enjoyable to talk to, but this interview format certainly was not something that appealed to him or brought out stuff from him, which is fine. It's okay if it doesn't. Hopefully I'll get better content from Seif sometime in the future. This is my fault. He did say, if you want better answers, you'll have to interrogate and, have a conversation. And I did not successfully do that. Ergo, I shall take the blame for this, but that's okay. Favorite way to meet a corner starter? Horizontal or vertical 2 spots away. A side starter, directly across. A center starter, directly touching. So against corner starters, he's most often, in my words, would reply with an adjacent corner. Against a side starter, he plays the far side, which is, I think, a pretty rare type. And against center starters, he goes next to them, usually. Do you have a preferred starter type? Center. Yeah, I think Seif is one of the most interesting and active. I can cut that little white patch at the bottom. All right. I think Seif is one of the prominent and dominant center starter players who really plays there regularly and effectively. Does that change between random and hand games? Not typically, but I'll check for a safe corner first if random. Does it change between open and closed? Closed is almost always corner. A center, never a corner. Yeah, I too tend to go centers and closed. What is your proudest triple triad moment? Clan of the Year, Trance Knights, mid 2Ks. Oh, I forgot, he was not, did I say he was the KH guy? I meant the TK guy, Trance Knights. I am a moron. I apologize deeply. This video is going wrong, and I should restart it, but I won't. Let us continue. Did he also lead KH? Now I'm just very confused. Someone correct me in the comments. Should Delial be banned? Yes or absolutely? No, but to his face, I would say yes, because I love him. Should elemental be abolished, yes, or immediately? Nope. Variety is the spice of life. Don't like something, then don't play it. Not my cup of tea either, but why take an option away? God, I hate reasonable answers. They're no fun. What clan will always have a place in your heart? Trance Knights, Kingdom Hearts, Lionheart. Player you think is most underrated? I don't know anymore. Who are your top 3 to 5 picks for GOAT? Was Up, Sujiro, Delial in that order. So I think every single person who's replied has mentioned Delial. I think this is the first person to have me at the top. Also, it's the first mention of Sujiro. Sujiro is obviously a phenomenal player who had a relatively short run, but significantly longer than players like Doc Evil or Karmazin. And it's also an interesting run because he peaks in 2006, and then he goes away for years, and he comes back in, I think, 2010, and immediately makes the finals of TTAC, beating a pretty tough field. And just one of those examples of someone... We can argue about whether the different eras are all that different in strength, but I really like seeing examples of players maintaining their strength over time, including when they're not actively playing, because I find that incredibly difficult. I think I'm really good when active, and I lose a whole bunch of strength when I can't maintain thinking about triple triad as often. This is true in chess too. And I thought Sujiro just did this really impressive job of being able to come back that strong, and he still wasn't playing that many casual games. He was just that good at the game. When did you start playing, and what was your favorite era? 2000-ish on TTX. Favorite era was probably the first 2 to 3 years of TTA, because that's when I was most heavily invested in clans, even though it wasn't until a bit later that I became a better player. Yeah, I think I tend to be tournament oriented, but I think for most people, and this is including me, your favorite period is going to be the time when you're really in a clan with a bunch of people you can not just like enjoy triple triad with, but enjoy other things with that sometimes connects to triple triad. And like you have a bunch of friends on this site, and that's when it's going to be the best time for you. Favorite rule set? Open, same plus, same wall, plus wall, random combo. Have you met any other triple triad players in person? Kamikaze, Tiger, Sujiro, Megumi. You mentioned in another story I will reveal to pad this out that when he met Kamikaze and Tiger, he had printed out a bracket of TTAC 6, which he had won to show them. And I think that's very cute. He thought they must have thought he was a loser, but I think that's great. And something really worth being proud of. It was a fantastic achievement. What is your biggest weakness as a player? Lack of consistency and focus. So that's all I got from Seif. I tried to pad it out a little bit, but as said, kind of laconic answers, quick, to the point. And appreciate him answering the questions, even if he clearly was not inspired or enthused by them. And I appreciate him a ton as a player. I think he plays... he describes it as instinct, but I think he plays quite differently from how a lot of people do. God, the text. I hate these remastered graphics. Really hate them. Okay. I think a really interesting player. He has described himself as maybe less on the technical side, and I think instinct fits more into the direction he's strong. Capable of playing really spectacular games, and also capable of being really inconsistent, right? And I think he's also said the reason he considers Sujiro and myself at the top are not because he necessarily thinks like our best game ever is the best game ever, right? I suspect he'd think like the best game Delial has played is significantly better than say the best game I've played, right? Just like more imaginative, fantastic moves being pulled off. But that he sees the main skill as consistency and thinks that Sujiro and I are the players that really manage that. And I think that's fair. I think that probably is my biggest strength in tournament play, is on my worst day, even if I'm fairly inactive, and I know I drop off a bit, and I think that can be seen in my videos too, is the early months I was playing more confidently of the return. But also, I'm still going to be very good. And I think making sure that on your worst day, you're still at least very good is probably the best tournament talent. And Seif has kind of correctly identified consistency as the most important trait. So, anyways, I think that's all I got. I think Seif's a great player. Glad to have gotten the interview. I'm glad he's still around. That was incredibly rude of him to beat Avalanche in the first half of Clan League. I did not enjoy that at all. And yeah, I'll see you for the next interview.